Welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who built an elevated platform in his backyard just in case dragons ever take over the world. It's Adam Hodgins.
How are you doing? It's great to be here. And your neighbors may think you're crazy when you're building an anti-dragon structure. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, they will be correct. Yeah. But that one time when dragons come, you want to be the guy who prepared.
And guess who's going to come running to your house?
Oh, it's a hen who will help me bake the bread situation all over the time. Now, who will help me build the dragon platform? No one helps, but they all want room when it's there. It's like it's.
Now, I have a question for you. We've both watched Reign of Fire, obviously, because we're doing a podcast about this amazing movie. Now, yes. You saw what happened to McC. He became a McNugget, and you built the exact replica that he jumped off. Now, what are you planning on doing differently than what McC did?
So I have the benefit of having seen this movie through its entirety. Yeah. Whereas he saw it through his eyes, of course, up until the point where he died.
He went right into the dragon's mouth.
Right. So that's the wrong thing to do. So I think I'm just gonna learn kind of, I'm taking a little bit of Matthew McConaughey and like understanding a little bit what his battle tactics are. I'm taking a little bit of Christian Bale and like not a lot of Gerard Butler in this film, but just taking a little bit of each and then having a better battle strategy, right? Like what I'm going to do, Mark, is I'm going to attack the dragons of Reign of Fire with a Cobra Kai attitude. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Got it. You're not going to go Statham and gut the dragon as it flies underneath you with a elevated helicopter?
I might do that when I encounter – I don't impact by the sole male first. Uh-huh. And so when the females, the egg bearers come, I feel like that's where I'll do the strike hard, strike fast. But when the bull comes, when the one male, that's when I'm going to do the midair slide down, Jason Statham shark move.
Slice his entire belly open for like 400 yards.
Yeah, no, and that you save that for the grand finale is what you do. You don't.
You sliced a massive dragon open. It's going to be a lot of cleanup.
Yeah.
Because guts are just going to be everywhere.
Yes, but I also feel that if you're the guy who does it, the entire human race owes you one.
So, like, whenever you're out, you get like your dinner paid for.
Yeah, I feel like thank you for saving the entire race of humans isn't enough in that situation. So I would cash in some of those favors right from the get-go. I just take some people that, good upper body strength. But like, hey guys, can you clean up this dead dragon? Give me one of his teeth so I can make a necklace, and then just take the rest out. I want him gone. And you pull those favors in right away.
And when we go out, like we'll go do this, right? You clean up with me, and then I'll take you guys out to eat once a week, and we'll get it paid for.
Yeah, exactly. You become the dragon slayer. Like they kind of when Matthew McConaughey shows up in his tank ride in this movie, they're all like, "Oh, he's a dragon slayer." No one really believes that he's a dragon slayer. But when they're talking to us, it's going to be like, that guy's legit a dragon slayer. No sarcasm, only gratitude if you kill all the dragons.
And if there's a pessimistic person, well, he probably just like blew it up. No. He literally gutted a 400-foot dragon.
Right. And because
with an axe.
And this is going to be happening in 2018, not 2002. I know it's set in 2020, but in a 2002 mindset, they filmed it. Like it's clearly going to be on YouTube, right? Like that server's still going to be going. So if you don't believe me, let's just go to the video footage here. Like we all have cell phones in this time. And so I think that was my favorite thing about the second of the new Planet of the Apes movies is when they got that dam going again, boom, all of a sudden the iPads all charge up and they're back on, and it's post-apocalyptic, but they're still taking, HD videos with their iPads.
Yep. So these people, all 7,000 people left on the earth are going to just owe you a solid.
Right. And now this being December, here's what I would say the benefit of a Reign of Fire situation. So say that this happens, and so say there's conservatively 8,000 people in the world left.
Yeah.
I think it's very manageable to pick one of those people, give them a couple of helpers to be Santa Claus. I think it's manageable to make 8,000 toys in a year and deliver them.
Yep.
So I think that in the world where there's 8,000 people left, Santa Claus can finally become a reality.
Now, are people painting rocks with little faces? Are they making wooden horses?
Oh, they are not NECA like articulated Doctor Who figures. I'm talking about like rock with googly eyes. Some people are going to get like an elbow macaroni necklace with some sparkle glue, but it's still going to be a thing. It's still going to be a man with a beard, probably bald and no sleeves, but a beard nonetheless. And
very skinny, very skinny,
because there's not a lot of food. No. You got to get those seeds to germinate properly, and if you harvest them too soon, that's not going to happen. So but he will be the bringer of gifts once a year, I think, is what I'm saying could be a reality.
So you think pet rocks will become a thing in the safe? So the post-apocalyptic world's going to happen, right? Yeah. And you gut the dragon, and then pet rocks become popular once again.
Well, it's all. So when it comes to like toys and gifts of things, it's all in the context in which you have. So like I got 2 kids, and I spoil them with things, and they like my son is 10, but he plays with like Marvel Legends 26 points of articulation figures. That's kind of his his figures. However, when we go to McDonald's, he like wants that Happy Meal toy because that's like still something that he can play with, even though it's nowhere near what he regularly plays with. So I think in a world of 8,000 people and everything's ash because those dragons are hungry, a pet rock is a big deal.
And also, if you're an adult, let's say the Reign of Fire and Steel Dawn movies are in the same universe. Listen to the podcast. It's great. If you give a pet rock to a friend, an adult, he can use those pet rocks against those sand people.
Well, and that's really the thing. It's a toy, but it's a function. It's what you would call in the movie a functioning prop.
Yeah.
Right. So it looks like something, but also serves a real practical purpose. And when you're living in a world where like society has crumbled and it's a fit for survival, everything has to serve a dual purpose.
Yeah.
Right. So again, referring back to our Steel Dawn podcast, which you need to listen to, I have a theory that maybe Tark was just there because he was a big guy, and if things got rough, they were going to eat him. Like I don't know why he was hanging around that farm, but yeah, everything serves a double purpose, and that's the key to living in a post-apocalyptic, post-dragon world.
Every gift needs to be a dual. Like you can't just get somebody a volleyball per se.
No, volleyball is the worst thing you could give somebody in a Reign of Fire situation. I was gonna like maybe you paint a face on it, it becomes like a friend like Wilson, and it becomes the therapist of the group. But no, that's nonsense. Because
yeah, in a world full of dragons, you want to keep your wits. You don't want to be talking to beach balls. You have more than enough to do.
Well, and I think like and mental health is very, very real in 2018. But I think in a world where dragons exist and they want to burn you, you really stop worrying about like what Sally thinks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
And I think that again, it harkens back to our Steel Dawn past. It's like Steel Dawn podcast. Like, why are the humans fighting humans? Like, so in Reign of Fire, we have Christian Bale, and he's got his little community of survivors there, and really their essence is they are hunkering down and just existing, right? They've got rifles, but clearly they're ineffective on dragons, so I don't even know why they have them.
It's like shooting a spitball.
I think that was my biggest problem with this movie. Is like, why are they even shooting at the dragons? They have proof that it does nothing.
They could maybe hit the eye.
Do it anyways.
Maybe hit the eye.
Maybe, but even then he's just pissed off.
But you know what though?
They're just existing.
I got a splinter. I got a splinter the other day, and it was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So could a bullet be like a splinter to a dragon if it gets in the right crevasse?
It could. It definitely could. I had an ear infection a couple of years ago, and it got real bad. But it's an ear infection. It's not a big deal. It was debilitating. You couldn't focus on anything else. So I think perhaps if there was a stray bullet, but the odds of that, it just seemed like they were just like, maybe this is the time bullets will cut through the dragons. I don't know. But so Christian Bale and his team, his community there, they're just like surviving. And then, McConaughey shows up with tanks and helicopters and like the military and dragon's teeth, and they start fighting like they don't trust each other. It's like, you guys are humans and there's dragons here. Why don't you just get along from the beginning and save yourself some headache?
Cool. Remember what good old Jerry Butler says, though. Remember? He's like, "Oh, are these those Marines that tried to attack us?"
Yeah. Jerry Butler in this movie, I want to say, in 2002, I loved him in it. And in this movie, whenever he would talk about dragons, I could just hear Hiccup's dad from How to Train Your Dragon.
He keeps eating it in dragon movies too.
He does. Like, it's not a great place for him to survive, but every time he's like, "Go for the dragons," I'm like, oh, he's yelling at Hiccup right now. Like it just took me right out of the movie. And I'll say this movie I bought on DVD the day it came out, because this movie was along the same lines as The Transport. Remember The Transporter came out and like it had like little to no theatrical run, but then blew up on DVD.
Blew up.
And so I bought that movie the Tuesday it came out, and then I bought Reign of Fire the Tuesday it came out. And like I remember really loving the idea of Reign of Fire, and like the cast was killer, and I liked the movie. But watching it again the second time, I was like, this movie, the pacing's a bit weird. Did you find the pacing a bit weird?
I mean, it's very weird, and there's some characters I don't understand why they're in it. I don't understand. All right, so I came to an epiphany, and it's taken me a long time. But you know how a lot of people complain about, in Home Alone, Marv and Harry would have died. But that's not our world. That's that world. So when I watch movies, I try to think, okay, this is the world.
That's that's how professional wrestling exists. You put yourself and say, inside that ring, the laws of physics don't matter, and I'm okay with that.
Exactly. But I was sitting there, and I'm watching this movie, and I've probably watched it 4 or 5 times. And I thought to myself, is this male dragon immortal?
Yeah.
Did I hijack your point? I know you're going to go on further. But I know there's definitely weird pacing issues. But then I just kind of thought to myself, that dragon's been sleeping for millions of years.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think only Christian Bale can wake him up. Like as a kid or as an adult, like it's a personal vendetta against Christian Bale, which asks a whole other bunch of questions. But yeah, I felt this movie, and I want to say this in the nicest way possible, because again, I have an affection for this movie, and there's things about it that I really love, but I think there's times where it's kind of boring.
Oh yeah.
And for a movie about, a team of post-apocalyptic Marines fighting dragons, it shouldn't be boring.
Well, you know why Christian Bale did this movie?
I don't know.
He wanted to make it like a grounded dragon movie.
I don't want that. I want a flying dragon movie.
So like Christian Bale was saying this. I sat down with Rob Bowman, the director, and he had exactly all the same concerns about it I did. He felt all the things that could go wrong were the same as I felt. We sort of made a pact in the first meeting that all these things must be done. There's no point in making this movie unless the dragons are genuine predators. They don't have human characteristics, which they do. They don't have a particular vendetta even against humans, which I kind of think it does. And they're just creatures. They're just creatures going about their business of survival, and we just happen to be lower on the food chain than them. And the other thing that Rob was very adamant about is that we stuck to was not to make it a special effects movie.
Yeah, but it's a dragon movie.
Yeah,
dragons aren't real.
And he just Christian Bale was like, I just wanted to make a movie where people are just like, they're just hunkering down. Like, they're just gonna...
I will say, my favorite moment of the movie was Gerard Butler and Christian Bale acting out Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, that was awesome. And I want to ask you another question. Would you just want a movie with the two of them goofing around?
Yeah, like, that to me that's what they were fighting for, was those moments. Bringing joy to those kids and giving people their humanity back is kind of what the goal of this movie needs to be. And so I wanted more constant reminders of like, this is why we're battling. This is why it's important for me to hunker down, because I know I can't win that fight, but what I can do is sustain these kids and bring them a little bit of joy and let the next generation not we live in a bleak, death-filled world, we can still have a little spark of joy in that. And so, and also, I want them. I'm like, now do Jedi, like do the next movie. Like,
they're like, do E.T. or something like that. I'm like, yeah, do E.T. And
right?
There's a scene where Christian Bale and Jerry Butler are pushing each other and goofing around, like, yeah, bro. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Christian Bale just like happily shove somebody, and then the two of them like happily butt along for about 20 feet.
Yeah, and
I love
again in that 20 feet, Jerry Butler, he says like, "You're my best friend," and they have this like moment, but then they don't do anything else best friendy for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, he just kind of blows him off. Bale doesn't listen to him. He's like, "Are we really letting these people in?" Yes. Oh, okay. We've lived together for the last 20 years, but cool.
Yeah, and then I also felt the relationship between Christian Bale and like his little brother.
Yeah, what was that?
Like, I felt that was so forced to be like, here's the surrogate father situation, but we're gonna have these weird spikes of emotion, but we're not gonna follow up on it properly. Like it was so like forced and like just weird. It was just a weird relationship.
I have in all caps, who is this random kid?
Right.
I still don't know who he is, because he's not in the first part of the movie. And then we just have Christian Bale lecturing him about, he kind of sounds like a chimney sweep in this movie, Christian Bale. And I thought you were the one. I don't know what accent that is. I'm not going to do that anymore.
I think that was the official accent of chimney sweeps everywhere.
Yeah. Wait. And the kid's like, I just got to go. And I'm like, who is he? Why is he the kid that's taking over? And then at the end, he's like, you're in control. I'm like, yeah, but you're still young. Why are you giving control over like, what?
Yeah, and it was like he was going to go with Christian Bale or with Matthew McConaughey. It was this big like ordeal, and then like the next scene he's like, "Oh, I'm back. Like I didn't go. I stayed."
There's also a very random moment of Christian Bale just shirtless, looking ripped, talking to the kid.
How jacked was Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale in this movie?
Yeah, if you know why they kept that turtleneck on Christian Bale during their fight? Because if he'd have had it off, you'd have been like, that fight would have been a lot closer. I do think that fight plays out believably. Because
yeah, for sure it does.
The punches that land, I mean, maybe a few extra, but the punches that do land look like they really hurt. And when McConaughey puts him on the ground, he only hits him twice, and then they rip him off. That's about right. Yeah. When he punched Christian Bale in the chest, and Christian Bale just dropped like a sack of potatoes, that's what would happen. I was like, I appreciate this, but it was kind of boring.
It was kind of boring. And again, it was what would happen in a real fight. Like if you and I were downtown sometime and we just got in a fist fight, people would pull us apart because nobody wants people to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Like one of my favorite movies is Lethal Weapon. But the fight at the end of that where there's like 30 cops watching two guys fight with sticks would never happen.
Back us up.
Yeah, stay back. Let him have it. Let him have it. And it's like that. No, this is what would happen. Christian Bale gets owned, and they take McConaughey off because he doesn't want to kill the man.
Yeah.
Right. They take Van Zandt and said don't kill him. He's our leader. But yeah,
he did get headbutted in the face during that scene, Christian Bale, and they left it in. So McConaughey lunges forward, headbutts him, and then you can kind of see Christian Bale trying to get up, just like whoa.
But I think that's a badge of honor. So I was working at a summer camp 2 summers ago,
Getting
and
headbutted?
part of my job was to make theme videos each day. So each week there's a different theme, and then there's a team of us that make videos that kind of tell a story that the kids follow along, and they watch it during supper. And so one week we did a whole like Arrow thing, and so we kind of ripped off Arrow, the TV show. And so in that, I was like the Deathstroke character. So in one scene, a guy goes to hit me in the head with his bow, but he really smacks me in the head, like just takes me out. And it hurt so bad, and I had a welt on my head for like 2 days. But I was like, you need to leave that in. That's like it's never going to get more raw than that. And so there's like a badge of pride in that. So I think when Christian Bale gets headbutted for real, he's like, that, even if it doesn't look the best, that's the take we have to use.
And speaking of arrows, type in Mark Hoffmeyer, Rotten Tomatoes, and read the post I did about cinematic archers. You'll love it.
Oh, I think I'm going to do that tonight. That's fantastic. I love your Rotten Tomatoes stuff.
It'll change your life. I watched a lot of archery movies. But that like...
What's your favorite archery movie?
Oh, goodness. All right, so For me, it's got to be. So there's the 1922 Robin Hood. He lands 100%, doesn't shoot anybody. But you watch the Errol Flynn in 1938. He misses a bunch of shots, but he kills a lot of people in that movie. So I had kind of forgotten about that film, and he misses. But there's a scene where he just wipes out a bunch of guards, and in 38 he's just murdering people, and I'm like, what is happening? That's got to be my favorite archery. I also really my favorite archery moment, and I think I wrote the favorite line that I've ever written in my life. So I wrote about Hot Shots Part 2, and I started off going, I wrote, we don't condone using using chickens in lieu of arrows. It's like the favorite thing I've ever written in my life. But I love when he just misses and shoots a guy with a chicken.
So it's funny that you went to Hot Shots Part 2, because if you asked me for my favorite cinematic archer, it would have been Rambo 2 Rambo.
Well, he has the highest archery rating of any archer. So I watched all of Legolas. I watched all of Katniss. I watched all of Hawkeye, Robin Hood, Rambo. Rambo has the highest accuracy. Well, so when I say accuracy, I mean death shot. So Legolas, when he goes to shoot that berserker orc with the flare in its hands and two towers, he shoots it twice and the orc still goes. Those aren't perfect shots.
Right.
So Rambo, he only misses one, and that one goes in a guy's leg, and he just has to use another arrow to wipe him out. So even his miss isn't. So he's accurate 100% of the time, but he's not perfectly accurate. He's at perfectly accurate 96.3% of the time.
Does he get extra points for shooting a guy with an arrow who then falls onto a landmine?
I didn't give him points for that. I did give him points for letting the guy run about 50 yards away and then blowing him up.
Yeah, no, anyway, he's my favorite cinematic archer. He's just fantastic. All that to say, though, they should have used some arrows on these dragons.
Yeah, well, they did, right?
The big ones.
Yeah, they kind of harpooned one of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so, all right, watching this movie, I just want to kind of talk about it a little bit. I love the ground. I do like that they tried the grounded approach to the film.
Well, and I will say that this movie fits into a very small category of movies for me, where it's done in such a way that they're uncomfortable to watch, because there's no way you could be in the setting they're in and be comfortable. So like there's the Road Warrior, there's Cool Hand Luke, and Snowpiercer was one for me that when you watch, you're just uncomfortable watching those characters, and because it's translated so well that you feel like you're in those scenarios.
Absolutely.
And this one I felt dirty and gritty and just awful watching it, because they get that so well.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah, no. This movie was made, like, the director, Rob Bowman, the guy knew what he was doing.
Well, he came from TV, right? Like, he was mostly a TV director.
He did X-Files and he's done Castle, but he worked on X-Files before this. Now, this movie didn't have the biggest budget, and so you could tell that his TV expertise stretched in, and he could really stretch the budgets. He did make Airborne before this, which I kind of love, that skating movie. He kind of hit a rough patch later on because he directed, like, Elektra. Those movies.
Yeah, that you can't really recover from Elektra.
Yeah, so he kind of tanked. But the cinematographer, this is who is the real MVP of this movie. Adrian Biddle. He did Aliens, The Mummy in 1999, Event Horizon, Aliens, V for Vendetta, Willow, The Princess Bride, Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd's not a good movie, but it looks good.
It looks good.
So this guy really shot the living daylights out of it. There's some shots in this movie that I love.
Well, I would say there isn't really any shots that I don't love in this movie. Like it all of it takes you in, and even when you know why they're doing a thing for a reason, it's and you're in, like, you know what's going on behind the curtain, you're still there. So, like, for example, the cockpit shots of the helicopter when the angels are flying to go net that dragon. Mm-hmm. You know it's just a shaky cam shot of a lady sitting next to a green screen.
Yeah.
Like, you know that. That's why it's a close up, and that so they don't got to build the rest of the helicopter. But you're in. You're like, I know what's going on there, but I still feel what they want me to feel.
And they were speaking in headsets too, right? Did they have headsets when they were in that helicopter?
Yeah.
So they went believable on that.
And even like the close-ups of the guys who are actually like falling out of the sky, and you're like, oh, it's just that kind of close-up, shake the camera around, and we'll put some wind in their face. But again, it was done so well that it brings into that moment.
No, and you know what's interesting about the dragons? They mimicked. So they looked at king cobras first because king cobras can spit, but then they looked at the bombardier beetle.
Yeah.
And it shoots two chemicals from his abdomen that once mixed create a hot burning spray. So he used real world examples to inspire his dragons. They don't breathe fire exactly, but they spit chemicals from two different sacs in their mouths. And then he also, they did the scales on the dragons are based on snake scales, but then they went and looked at crocodiles, and then they made kind of like a crocodilian / snake dragon.
So I will say this, and I'll say it out loud. I haven't seen a better looking cinematic dragon than Reign of Fire.
Yeah, I think it. You know what I like about it? It really blends with the background. When it's walking around in the rubble, it felt. You always have smog, but I always knew that was CGI. Now, obviously, I know Reign of Fire dragons are CGI, but they talked about really blending it in with the rubble and making it snake-like and making it be able to hold its weight and how it would walk. And did I send you that article? There's a very long article that people would lose their attention span about 2 sentences in. But just type in Reign of Fire CGI, and there's a very long article about the creation of these dragons. And there's another article that came out that basically said Reign of Fire. I think I sent you that one where like Reign of Fire is responsible for how good the dragons are in Harry Potter and the following movies, because it was a big step up. I mean, the technology took a step up from Dragonheart, but that was more about like Sean Connery. These dragons.
But again, Dragonheart was a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Like any way you cut it, Dragonheart was a fairy tale, and that dragon was meant to be kind of quirky and lovable, and he was going to be the hero of that movie. These dragons are meant to terrify, and I'll say the most terrifying thing about them was when you saw him in the rubble walking around, and you could see like the natural camouflage that was happening without them saying that to you.
Yeah.
Like if that dragon just stopped moving.
Yeah, you wouldn't see it.
And then, you would see it.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
See, yeah, I love it. In 2002, that's how much thought they put into these dragons.
Yeah, and before 2002, so Dragonheart was kind of a big deal dragon. But what other cinematic dragons were there? There was like Dragon Slayer, but again, that was more Camatrix and smoke. There wasn't a good-looking dragon in that movie. But was there like a decent dragon?
Not Puff. Neverending Story had that big dog. That's a good question. I can't think of dragons in the 90s. Dragonheart, right?
Mm-hmm. And again, when Dragonheart came out, it was like everybody went and saw it because it was such a crazy, good-looking dragon for the time.
The only thing I remember about that movie is Sean Connery's voice and Dennis Quaid speaking very loudly throughout the entire film. If you watch it again,
I have a theory.
Randy Quaid yells a lot.
I have a theory, but
Dennis Quaid.
Randy Quaid, I have a theory. Dennis Quaid doesn't make bad movies. He can make okay movies, but everything he's in is somewhat watchable.
He can sell it, no matter what movie he's in. No, there's a movie with Jerry Butler called Playing the Field, or Playing for Keeps, or Catching the Field, or Coaching the People, where Jerry Butler's a soccer coach, and Dennis Quaid was in it. And it's very bad. It's very low budget. Uma Thurman gets treated terribly in it. You just felt bad for her. And Quaid seems to be like very red-faced and just very hyperactive in it. And maybe it was just the overall. So maybe I'm not trying to knock down your point, because I think if I did the data, I would say 98% of his movies you can have fun with. But this one, he was very sweaty. Jerry Butler looked like he didn't want to be there. Uma Thurman was treated terribly. Jessica Biel was just nothing but eye candy, and it was just a very sad playing for Field in the Keeps, catching the people, foster the people, pumped up kicks.
Okay.
Right. I don't want to know the name of this movie now, because that would bum me out, because I like making up all these names. But maybe
I like Foster the People, the soccer movie, and it's all about foster kids banding together to make a team. And so the coach adopts them all, but not for virtuous reasons, so he can have a award-winning co-ed varsity soccer team.
That sounds like Sam Rockwell.
Oh, 100% Sam Rockwell's in that. And Dennis Quaid would play the principal of the university that they're like the headmaster of the university they're trying to get into.
You know that Sam Rockwell's in a basketball movie, a low-budget basketball movie where he coaches a girls' basketball team with Rooney Mara.
I've seen that.
I think Emma Roberts is in it.
Yep.
But I watched it. It's not bad. I think it's the winning season.
Yeah, no, I definitely watched that. I got into a Sam Rockwell kick after I watched The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy.
Were you dancing? The one-eyed kick? That sounds like a Sam Rockwell kick. Sounds like his patented dance move.
Well, yes, but have you seen The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy?
No, I have not. I've never heard of that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read you the cast list of this movie, and you're going to – it's on Tubi TV.
Tubi, yeah.
Yeah. I got it actually in my stocking one year for Christmas in 1998 on VHS. So it was made in 1994. It was a low-budget movie called The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy. But here's the cast. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The cast is Nicholas Turturro, Steve Buscemi, Samuel L. Jackson, John Turturro, Tawny Sunko, Jennifer Beals. There's Sam Rockwell's in it. Like, it just keeps going, and it's just all these guys that were just about to break through things in that moment. And the whole thing is they're looking for this guy named One-Eyed Jimmy who got lost, and they think he's got kidnapped. And so, like, they're all playing these really weird characters. And Sam Rockwell is the Search for One-Eyed Jimmy. And at the end of the movie, it turns out he got locked in the laundry room downstairs. So I was just like blown away by that. So I went down a deep, dark Sam Rockwell like hole the other day, and I ended up at this like basketball movie.
You need to watch Safe Men with him and Steve Zahn and Paul Giamatti.
Steve Zahn, man, that guy is in my Mount Rushmore of unsung heroes of film.
And Mark Ruffalo with a mustache, and they always say "sweet stash." He goes, "Thanks," and they go, "Sweet stash." He goes, "Thanks, bro," in a very Mark Ruffalo way. And and in the movie, Sam Rockwell wears butt enhancers to make his butt seem bigger. And there are a bunch of horrible performing artists who get confused for thieves, but then they get in trouble with this guy named Big Fat Bernie, and then they have his son, Little Big Fat, and then this guy Paul Giamatti works for him, and they call him Veal Chop, and he always wears hockey jerseys and hammer pants.
Oh yeah, I'm down with this. This sounds exactly
it's one of my favorites, man. Hey,
that's so good.
So what do you think?
So Cinematic Dragons.
Yeah.
I will say one that terrified me as a child in the late 80s. It was in the era of ABC and NBC miniseries, but there was a made-for-TV miniseries of Through the Looking Glass, Alice in Wonderland. And there was a Jabberwocky dragon that tried to come through the mirror at the end that was terrifying.
What's a Jabberwocky?
I think it's a dragon.
Got it.
I know some people like hold the Wonderland Jabberwocky Through the Looking Glass like book and canon as like the greatest thing ever written. I think it's just really a bunch of nonsense, but it's fun to watch. But other than that, there isn't really great cinematic dragons of the 80s and 90s.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure someone's pulling their hair out yelling, but I can't think of any. So these dragons,
let us know.
Yeah.
If you're screaming at us right now, just let us know what dragons you think about.
So this movie had a much lower budget than the second Harry Potter, and I know that's like an obelisk, not an obelisk. That's a shoot. Come on, Mark.
An obelisk.
I mean that's a statue from Egypt. You know, I was actually just in Italy, and in Rome they stole a bunch of them. So I went and took pictures of all. Yeah, there's a bunch of obelisks around Rome that they just stole from Egypt. But it's not technically a dragon. In the second Harry Potter, it's, is that what do they call it? Like the big long snake thing? Yeah,
it's a dragon. Like let's be fair, it's just a dragon.
Basilisk?
Yes.
It doesn't look as good as these, and that movie had 3 times the budget.
Yeah, but so that's because they had to pay Radcliffe at that point in time.
Yeah, he was in the second movie. He had like 3 trailers. But no, like all right. So I know we're really jumping ahead to the end, but I love this dragon. Okay, all right. Can we just talk about? Is this dragon immortal?
I'm gonna say yes, both physically in this world and in my heart.
Because it's been sleeping for millions of years.
Right. And I'm also going to say by the end of this movie, I was kind of rooting for the dragon.
Yeah, I mean, but were you? Because it has a horrible. I think it killed the dinosaurs, wiped everything off the planet. It's like, I'm going to sleep. And then it wipes everything off the planet and then sleeps. Correct?
Yeah. But here's the thing, Mark. I'm going to get real philosophical for you on this one. Did this dragon, like, will itself into existence, or is it just it is? It exists. It's not its fault that it exists. And he sleeps for a long time, which means he only does the bare minimum of what he needs to survive.
Yeah.
Wouldn't anybody ask that? He's not terrorizing things just for the sake of terrorizing things. He's just doing the bare minimum to survive, and I think that any one of us would do the very, very same thing. I would argue that in this movie, these humans are doing everything they can do just to survive. It's just we relate to them better. The story's told through their eyes. But this dragon, he's just getting nothing but hate for just doing it. He sleeps for so long. He's like, what do you want from me, people?
Yeah, I'll go back to sleep for millions of years again. Just do your thing.
Yeah. I'm just going to spray some fire on some eggs and call it a day.
If you think about it, too, Christian Bale told a story about these people who went out and killed a dragon, and then the male followed it back and wiped them all out. Well, that sounds like a good father.
Yeah, no, I would do that. Like my wife and I always not joke, but we have sometimes a warped sense of humor. But, when we first got married, you're like, what would you do if I ever was murdered or something? And I'm like, just watch Dolph Lundgren in his Punisher movie. That's what I would do. I would live in the sewer. I would talk to Louis Gossett Jr. and I would just have revenge. Like that's what I would do. And so I think that's what this dragon's doing. He's just being Dolph Lundgren in the 80s Punisher movie.
Yeah,
and we can't argue with that.
Yeah, and one of his buddies was killed, and they left the body on their doorstep. And Christian Bale's like, they don't like it. Well, dragon.
Of course not.
Yeah, exactly. And this dragon season's like, okay, well, I'm gonna blow fire. I'm gonna wait for you all to come back out, go outside because you think I'm gone, and I'm gonna blow fire again, and kill Jerry Butler.
Right. So, and here's the other thing, and this is the logic that I'm going with. In the first garden raid where he burns and they're leaving in the trucks, and Jerry Butler says he doesn't even care about us. He just wants the ash. Yeah. Give these dragons some ash. Give them stuff to burn, feed them. Instead of growing gardens, just throw them all your way so they can burn it and eat the ash. You can learn to live in a symbiotic society with something if you try, but they're not. I don't know. I just think this could have gone, if they were a little bit smarter, it would have been a different situation from the get-go.
Because he did say they just want the ash.
They just want the ash.
They're eating ash?
Yeah, they're eating ash. We can give you things to burn. We have renewable resources that we can give you. All the ash you want.
Yep.
But also, I want to go back to the first scene of this movie. Why is that kid,
so sassy,
young Christian Bale, well, yes, but also allowed to just free roam around a drilling work site?
Yeah, he's everywhere. And he's sassy, he's sassy to everybody, and I didn't like it.
No, and they're like, oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, and it's like, this is like an 8-year-old kid walking around this deep sea underground drilling operation, and nobody seems to care. That I was yelling at my TV. Remember in Clerks where the gag was he's gonna get stuck in the escalator. I felt like that. I was like, someone get that kid away from the drilling site. I mean,
and he didn't have a hard hat. He's not probably insured. If I was the insurance company,
he's not wearing steel-toe boots.
If I was the insurance company, I would not allow this sassy kid who just makes comments. I wouldn't want to hang out with this kid because everything that came out of his mouth was a comment. She's like, have you been out drinking? No, I've been smoking. Hey, what are you doing here? Well, someone's got to make up for you. I'd be like, you're exhausting, kid. Just speak to me like a human.
Yeah, just be friendly for 30 seconds. And we say that to our kids when they give a little bit of sass. We're like, hold on, you can say that in a friendly way. And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, Dad. And they'll say it in a friendly way. But there was no parenting going on with this kid. And there was no shortage of adults around. They were just all choosing to let's see how messed up we can make this kid. And, and then they get Christian Bale. We all know how crazy and messed up that guy is.
Yeah, but I kind of want to know. I think a good book would be how he survived it.
Yeah.
To where he got.
Right? Like the teeny bop divergent version of this movie, which tells about a young teenage Christian Bale and how he met his wife and had a kid. Like that's the story that we could really sell.
The new YA movie with a young digitally enhanced Christian Bale.
And we'll call it Steel Dragons.
Oh man. All right, so how about this? We got to write this script now before anybody steals it from it. So we're going to write this script, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about more Reign of Fire. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And we came into a small problem, Adam. And that Steel Dragon is actually the band of Mark Wahlberg's band. Wait, yeah. Is the name Mark Wahlberg's band in the movie Rockstar? Steel Dragon.
But I think how we can work around that is we would spell it STEAL, dragons, and it's about these two young lovers stealing moments away from a world infested by dragons.
It's about the quiet moments away?
Yeah. Like, there isn't a dragon in the whole movie. They just talk they just talk about them. Well, and like they
hear whooshing over their house.
Right.
And
the whole movie is shot.
They have to put out a fire.
The whole movie is shot underground in real time, and it's their first date.
So it's basically before sunset, it's before sunrise, but underground and with dragons.
But you don't see the dragons.
And Linklater needs to get on this.
Oh yeah,
it's just them traversing in the London Underground.
Yeah, 100%. Well, listening to the Clash.
London Calling.
Right. This would be amazing.
Just over and over, jamming out on their Zune.
Right. And we would get Gordon Levitt. He would play a young Christian Bale as a harkening back to like the Robin Batman relationship that they kind of have. Oh my!
And then who would be good as the actress is Imogen Poots.
Okay, I can get behind that.
She's in Fright Night, Green Room, Need for Speed. The thing about her is if you watch any movie with her, no matter who she acts alongside, she just has chemistry with it. She could have chemistry with a pet rock. So, even if her and JGL don't blend, she could just really sell it.
Yeah, no, and exactly. And that's all you need is someone who can commit to this thing.
And JGL needs to be speaking like a chimney sweep.
And I think this would be a more grounded version of this Grounded Dragon movie where we don't show any dragons at all. It's just like, some days you don't see a dragon.
Yeah. Because sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're out attacking Manchester.
Yeah,
they're not in London.
No,
and they're eating the sheep in Scotland.
Eating sheep in Scotland.
Oh wait. Oh.
My goodness.
That'd be a good movie. Eating sheep in Scotland. That's a sequel.
Well, so I think the key to the Reign franchise is just like multiple venues. So I think that like the young adult romance will be a movie. Like that'll be a good date movie. I think Eating Sheep in Scotland is the YouTube Red TV series.
Yep.
I think Jerry Butler's story about how
that's his story.
How that's because he's the shepherd that he's a Star Wars fan. He loves the wars. And so he would be out in the field just talking to the sheep about Star Wars because this is back in like, a time when fandom wasn't embraced like it is now. So he was a Star Wars nerd, if you will, when he was in high school. So he had no date. So he was just out with the sheep talking to them about the wars. And then, it was his knowledge about the Star Wars universe and how those things that gave him the cunning to survive in a world full of dragons.
There's a 30-minute scene where he's just putting moss and leaves on top of the sheep to camouflage them, and while he's talking about Star Wars.
Exactly.
Just camouflaging sheep.
Right.
That would be so. He just has to take sheep across Scotland. It's like Children of Men. He has to deliver that woman.
Right.
He just has to deliver sheep.
Just sheep.
It's like Cyborg. It's like Cyborg.
Oh, yes.
But with sheep and dragons.
Cyborg was a movie I was so excited about renting. Because again, I think we talked about this a little bit when we did our Universal Soldier podcast, which people should check out. But like Van Damme was like the apex guy. But when I learned about Van Damme was like Universal Soldier or like TBS watching Kickboxer. So then in a world before the internet was really a thing, you'd go down to your local video store and just say, what do you have that's Van Damme? And they said to me, it's like, there's a movie called Cyborg. And I was like, you're talking like a friggin' cyborg and it's Van. There was not really a cyborg in that movie. Like, I know that girl said she was a cyborg, but it wasn't like a sweet battling cyborg. And that movie was just like, again, a bit jarring to watch when you didn't know what to expect. But yeah, Cyborg was sheep though, is what this would be.
Cyborg was so awesome to me when I was a kid, just because of certain scenes. You know, you're watching it and it just felt like dangerous, like an R-rated movie, like knives out of people's boots. There's guys wearing gas masks for no reason. People are fighting in the rain. JCVD does the big split. But when you watch it again and you're older, you're like, what
am I watching?
Yeah, this is horrible. I almost don't want to. Yeah, I don't ever want to watch it again. Actually, it's a movie I never want to watch again because I just want to keep my good memories for it.
Exactly. Don't ruin this for me. And then to go back to our multi-platform thing, McConaughey's rise up, like the people, like the village that killed the dragons after the army couldn't do it. Like, that's a comic book series that we'll release.
Yeah. Oh, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So I was talking to a friend about this movie, and so my buddy, I don't know why, he does not like Matthew McConaughey. I'm a big fan of his. I called The Reconnaissance when Lincoln Lawyer came out. I said things are changing for him, and then he did Killer Joe, then he did another big movie, then he did Mud, then he did Interstellar, then he won the Oscar. I called it, but he hates McConaughey for some reason. But he was like, Reign of Fire is the only McConaughey movie I'll watch because he thinks it's the only movie where McConaughey acts.
Really?
Now, he is... So if you think back to a lot of McConaughey movies, he has this really kind of late... he did the rom-coms with Sarah Jessica Parker and Kate Hudson, right? The kind of relaxed dude. Then he did...
I'll say this. Fool's Gold is a very watchable movie.
Oh, very watchable movie. Jet ski action scene. Now, which we're going to talk about snowmobiles later on.
Oh, I'm so excited about snowmobiles.
I have a ton of data to drop, but I'll save it for that. In this movie, though, he isn't McConaughey. He's McConaughey, but he's like this bald... I mean, he's jacked up in movies. He's bald. He's not... I don't even think he's curtsying. He's just he's not McConaughey.
He's very somber.
Yeah. Like, I don't even think he's like a madman. I think he's just seen decimation and he's taking... His crew decided, listen, this world's going nowhere, so we're going to try to take out the apex.
Yeah, what I think is, again, he's not a madman. I think he's a broken man who's accepted that, and he's rebuilding himself. Yeah,
and he feels the loss. Remember that scene where the three guys jump out of the helicopter and they die?
Yeah.
But they kill a dragon, and everyone's celebrating. He's like, you guys are idiots. I lost 3 people today.
Now, did you notice what I noticed in that movie, in that scene? That had to be a reshoot because his beard is noticeably shorter in that scene.
I didn't even know. You know what I noticed though? I'm like, where's Jerry Butler in this? And after he makes a speech, they made sure to show that Jerry Butler wasn't partying.
Right.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, but no, he's got because he's got that kind of thick beard with the bald head to contrast. And then in that scene where he gives a speech about like,
how dare you?
Right.
Yeah.
The city that needs him. He's almost just got like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh my god!
And then the next scene, he's got his. Because watching it again last week, I was like, maybe he got singed off in the fire. But then the next scene, he's got his full beard back again, and I was like, oh, that must have been a reshoot.
That had to have been a reshoot. So maybe they needed to flesh out his character a little bit more, make him seem more sympathetic. Because people probably watched it and they're like, I don't like him.
He's not human enough.
Yeah, so he had to go make that speech. He was totally what were they drinking in there, by the way?
Water. Wasn't it all just water?
Oh, I thought they were like doing hooch because they're like, man, this is good stuff. No. Thanks for opening it.
That's right. It was, but in their flasks, it was just water.
Yeah. So it was like white. Yeah. It looked like White Dog before it had been aged in a barrel.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just like corn. Yeah. Corn and tomato, like moonshine, right?
It had to have been. Yeah. I would say mostly corn heavy base. I just did the bourbon trail, so I'm like, I know a lot about mash bills. I don't want to spend an hour talking about the mash bill of the Reign of Fire stuff.
That's right. How does it compare to the Dukes of Hazzard hooch?
Oh, this is much better. Post-apocalyptic hooch is always the best hooch.
Or it's maybe just appreciated more.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
I can't go get Crystal Skull vodka, so there's no other option.
There is literally no more hooch in this planet, so I'm gonna enjoy this hooch. It's not like I didn't get a delivery this week.
I think the next article you should write for Rotten Tomatoes is best prison hooch. Like movie that has the best homemade prison hooch.
I should. I mean, I gotta start putting together a list. I can think of like Big Stan. I gotta start putting together a prison hooch movie. Imagine that getting the full promotional material pushed by them. That'd be amazing. Right. Now I really want to talk about something in this movie.
Hit me with it.
So I wrote an article about Matthew McConaughey's record-breaking jump in Reign of Fire, and it really did well. A lot of people read it, and it got more eyes on me because of Brian Raftery, a writer. He liked my Deep Blue Sea article, but he read this, and he was a huge fan because he also liked Reign of Fire. And so if you look up my Wired interview, just type in Mark Hoffmeyer Wired, the first image that pops up is Reign of Fire.
Beautiful.
And so whenever I see, my wife got the article framed for me, so I see McConaughey's tattooed body. My alternate intro for this movie was saying that you got McConaughey's tattoo before that movie came out. So when the movie came out, everyone's like, "Hey man, great Reign of Fire tattoo." And you're like, "No man, I had this before it."
Well, let's be. And the story I would have gone with was that like, it's not a Reign of Fire tattoo. It's just I got blade tattoos, but I'm a white guy.
Oh wait, oh yeah, you're right. So it was blade tattoos.
It was blade tattoos.
How bad would that be if you wore pork pie hats before Breaking Bad too? But so I wrote. So I've actually had a lot of interesting arguments. This is the article that I've had the most, not arguments, but discussions where people have really combated me. And I've had to talk more about this movie this jump than I ever thought I would. So, I wrote this article about the jump in Reign of Fire, and I'll attach it in the blog post.
Right.
So I watched this movie, and for 7 seconds, when Mick C jumps, he does not descend. All right. So so I wrote, what was his plan if he killed the dragon? So if he killed the dragon, he was still dead. Should he have played cat and mouse? How much does the axe weigh? How strong are his quads?
Right.
Do we evolve quickly after the apocalypse to become better jumpers? So I kind of wrote about this scene in this movie because Mick C in this film is a human, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's not like a John Carter jumper. He's not a Jedi. He's not in the Matrix. He is straight up a human in the human world.
He's not even The Rock. You know?
And The Rock has his own rules.
So if you go to the website, there's actually a bunch of diagrams that my wife did for me about what would happen during this jump. And so for me, I get this is a movie. So this happens in the movie. But I figured out the distance. I measured the platform they jumped off. I measured how long he was in the air. And I measured how fast he was moving. He floats for 35 feet. When he jumps to when the dragon eats him, it's 35 feet. Now, how did I come up with him traveling 35 feet? So I took a look at him jumping, and I paused at the 4 seconds. So there's a video. I'll put it on the blog, the post too. So I measured the length of his body, and then I established by a tape measure against the television that in the 3 seconds that he jumped, he covered 15 feet. Then I played the video and counted how much longer it was until the dragon ate him. 4 seconds. Thus, 7 times 5, 35 feet. It may seem like a very far distance. It is. However, I think it's about right considering he never slowed down and is killed while moving at maximum speed. What I find to be most impressive is it broke every single long jump record with ease. And I showed the long jump record of the guy jumping 29 feet. So a lot of people are like, well, so he jumps and it cuts to Christian Bale and Goldeneye looking up at Isabella Goldeneye. So great jump in that movie too. They're looking up, but when you watch, he hasn't started the swinging motion yet, right? So when you cut to him, that is those seconds. So he has already covered about 15 to 20 feet while they're watching him, and he hasn't descended one bit. Then they cut back to him going full speed, starting the swinging motion. That's a full 3 seconds. So the dragon eats him, but he stays level with the ground does not descend for 7 seconds, and he covers 35 feet. Also, if he would have jumped and dropped, the dragon would have eaten him and slammed right into that thing he jumped off. However, the dragon eats him and just flies right over that thing. And that's a big dragon. It couldn't have course corrected that quickly. It would have slammed right into it.
You can't change physics.
So this McConaughey literally floats in the air for 35 feet.
Wow.
And I have a question for you.
I'm ready for this question.
Do you think if the dragon didn't eat him, he would still be floating?
Well, I think that you've proven that, in fact, he would. Because the fact that
he stays
he
full
hasn't
speed.
descended.
Yep. Hasn't descended, and he's full speed 7 seconds after he first jumped. And he only got 4 steps.
So that shows us that this fact, there's no other forces. There's no gravity's not being pulled up. There's no friction. He has just entered some kind of vortex where he's just riding the air like Goku style, and he would still be going right now.
And a lot of people are like, no, they just show different angles and it's like non-linear. But I'm like, listen, watch. When they're looking at him, he hasn't started the swinging motion. That's how I know it's 35 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So he jumps. He would have. So The Rock does about I wrote an article about this. Got a bunch of views. The Rock covers a little bit over 40 feet in his skyscraper jump. McConaughey would have broken that by 7,000 times because he's still floating. He's in the air with his axe.
Jump. Does it have different physics because it's like so unprecedentedly high in the air? Is it because the air's thinner up there? So does his 40 feet at the top of the skyscraper jump translate differently if he was at the dragon level?
You're right, because he's higher up. He has further to run, so he has he has a further running distance, and there's about a 15-foot drop for him to do The Rock. So that his jump was much easier than what McConaughey did.
Right. And gravity was stronger the closer you get to the center of the earth.
And if The Rock would have done the McC jump at that height, he wouldn't have descended and just would have smacked right into a glass thing and fallen down the building.
Exactly.
So this jump is the most impressive jump in cinema history.
Absolutely.
Aside from a deleted scene from Cliffhanger that they showed in the trailer. If you watch the trailer for Cliffhanger, if you watch the trailer for Cliffhanger, was that like?
That sounds like the porn version of Cliffhanger.
That sounds like the Reign of Fire movie of Cliffhanger, where they just hang out, they hunker down in a cliff, and they just hunker down.
Not much happens.
Yeah, they hear dragons occasionally, and they're hunkering in a cliff. But yeah, so he jumps like easily 40 feet across a crevasse. So that's pretty impressive.
When Cliffhanger came out, I hated it because that's kind of a fun movie. Like John Lithgow's in it, and it's Stallone doing things, and it's kind of like a typical late 80s, early 90s movie. But man, you watch that movie with somebody who's like a rock climber, and they're just like, "Oh, this would never happen." I'm like, I know, but it's a movie, so shut up.
Dude, people still do that. Like, people are like, if this would have happened, they would have died. Like, no, like, so that movie,
there's no way that clip would have broken when they're hanging that way.
That movie
did though.
The Happening, right? Everyone's like, that movie's so stupid, but I'm like, The Happening doesn't take place in our world. The Happening you should listen to that podcast. It takes place in a world where people speak like they do. That's not our world. And when I watch tennis movies, I play tennis for years. And when I see them, I'm like, oh, that's how they play tennis in movies. Like, that's not...
Right, 100%.
Because you can't teach Shia LaBeouf to play like John McEnroe in 3 months. John McEnroe put a lifetime of work into getting that stroke. And if you read Infinite Jest, you learn how much goes into tennis. But yeah, you can't do that. So yeah, that bothered. Yeah, I get with Cliffhanger. Yeah, they don't climb like that. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a Stallone movie where they're climbing inside a set.
Right, and just enjoy John Lithgow being a hilarious villain.
Yeah, he's super 90s villain.
Yes,
like
100%.
Very smart, ruthless. Like Hans Gruber wrecked villains for a while because you had Under Siege 2. Under Siege was good because Tommy Lee Jones just chewed scenery. which he
good.
didn't even try to go Gruber. I dug that.
No, he did his own thing.
Yeah. All right, so back to this jump. I just love that he never descends. He just. Have you ever thought about that in this movie or no? Did that ever stick out to you?
It did stick out to me to be like the one superhuman thing that was happening in a grounded movie.
I mean, it was super, like, just.
Yeah.
I love it though. That's why maybe I scratch my head so hard at it, is because that's the one thing that never made sense to me. And I feel like breaking down the logic of it isn't me going that would never happen. That's just me saying what happened in this world.
Now, do you think that it was shot to look different, and then in the editing room they edited it together to make it look like a super jump? Like kind of like, in Superman the movie when they do that car roll down the hill at the end of it, but the car only rolled one time, but Richard Donner had 17 cameras on it.
Yeah, so it rolled 40 billion times.
Yeah, so it just had different angles and it just kept rolling, but it only actually rolled once.
So obviously, So what I think was when they were looking up, like when he jumps, they should have cut to them. If he should have been in the swinging motion when Christian Bale and Goldeneye were looking up at him, and then you cut up, and then the dragon eats him. Does that make sense? But instead, they cut up with him not doing the swinging motion, and then the swing. So I think they're kind of saying they showed us their point of view, and then they showed us what happened. But the way they filmed it, you can only have the idea that he floated 35 feet in the air.
Exactly. All
right. So
they were trying. It was logic gone astray for the sake of storytelling.
Is there anything else you want to cover in this movie? Is there any other big bits about the ending, or do you so at the end they kill the big buck, McC gets eaten, Bale kills it, and then they haven't seen a dragon in 3 months. Does that mean it was 3 months after they killed the big dragon, or they had to deal with all the dragons and then it was 3 months after that?
Yeah, I think they did a month of dragon cleanup.
Yeah, and then it had been three, so like maybe 3 months of dragon fighting, and then they hadn't seen one in 3 months.
Right.
Because then, the dragons were eating each other.
Right. I will say this. I felt that Goldeneye and Christian Bale had zero chemistry whatsoever together.
I mean, that was tacked on. That was, I mean, that, at the end they hold hands, and you're like, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I felt like the real would be like a Luke and Leia, like, she's actually your sister would make more sense.
Wait, she was born in Kentucky.
Yeah, but, separated at birth and whatnot. And that's why he was so sassy, because he was raised by London folk, but he's actually a Kentuckian at heart.
I always love whiskey. I'm sassy. That's funny. He was so sassy because he was adopted. Yeah, but, like, she just sort of, like, they goes on the mission at the end. And then they just become, like, husband and wife. She got the short shrift in this one, for sure. Goldeneye did not get treated too well.
No.
She's a pilot.
This is the second movie we talked about where there's been an unnecessary romance just tacked on there for no reason whatsoever.
Because we had Universal Soldier, where she literally falls for a zombie.
Right.
And then you had Steel Dawn, where the lady just falls for Swayze and they ditch the guy that's been faithfully working for him for years.
Right. And what was in between? We did a third one.
Oh man, what was the other movie we did?
We did.
How did we forget?
I forget what it was, but it was great.
So we've had 3 unnecessary things. Here, I'm pulling it up right here. I can't believe. No, I just pulled up the wrong. So we have 3 unnecessary ones. Let me see. MFF. We're going through. You and I did. Oh, the 13th Warrior.
The 13th Warrior.
Another
and that whole tacked on romance.
We've gone 4 for 4.
4 for 4. Just boldly, next time, don't give me a romance.
Is that weird? Like, is that weird that you and I have picked 4? We've gone 4 for 4 with unnecessary romances.
Well, I think it shows what we like in movies and what we don't. That's unnecessary.
We like.
Now, I'm going to say this, Mark. I'm going to say this. I think you and I are so content with our wives, we don't need to see romance on TV.
Yeah, that's right. I don't need it. That's funny because I said I just want to see a movie where Christian Bale and Jerry Butler are running around pushing each other.
Yeah, playing Star Wars in their backyard.
Yeah, just kind of hanging out, talking about, what's going to go on with the potatoes.
Right.
Like, what's going on with this crop this year? I don't know. We got to go look at it. And then it's them and 10 people
those
discussing.
Seeds got to germinate.
Yeah, and then it's just them discussing that they should get more light on them.
Right.
And then they go do the entire Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, yes. Yes.
All right. So I think we've done a good job knocking out this movie. Now we're going to move on to our patented super crew of monster. So basically monster punchers or creature punchers. And they don't have to punch. They can also kick.
Yeah, or hunt or stalk, whatever it would be.
And then we'll break it down to a super team of 8.
Very good.
All right, cool. Do you want to start?
Sure. And I'm going to start like I always do, with Rutger Hauer.
I knew you should. I was about to say that. That's funny.
So he was in a movie called Split Second. Have you seen this movie?
I have. My Rutger Hauer movies are I know nothing about them.
Okay, well, Split Second was it's actually quite interesting. It was the 1992 sci-fi kind of movie, but there's like a serial killer on the loose, and he just plays a detective. But the serial killer ends up being this alien creature that looks exactly like Venom. like you need to, if you Google the poster, it's Rutger Hauer walking in front of Venom.
And he's just fighting Venom? Yeah,
and so he ends up fighting Venom, and he fights him on a train, and so anyways, but Rutger Hauer is just like dynamite in this movie, and it was like a little known movie, but he's just like the quintessential badass cop.
On a scale of 1 to 10, like, so is it tougher than Danny Glover in Predators?
It's the same year. And I think the only thing is that Danny Glover has that Danny Glover grit.
Yeah.
But this is it. So I think Split Second was made to be like an urban version of Predator, but just happened to be in the same year that Predator made an urban version of Predator.
With Rutger Hauer.
Rutger Hauer.
Oh, wait. No, wait. Before that. So you had two oh, man. All right. I got to watch this trailer. I'm going to watch this trailer. I love it. Split Second. You're a Rutger Hauer guy, man. I'm not too versed in his. All right, so mine. This is really random, but it's Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, the movie. So there's a scene in the movie where this giant place is falling down underwater, and she swims out, right? But she can't make it all the way to the top fast enough, so she cuts herself, which she should just keep swimming because she can make it to the surface. But she cuts herself. This massive shark circles her, right? Then charges her, and she punches a shark right in the nose. Whatever the shark has, the snout, I don't know. Punches it right in the schnoz, and the shark goes, ugh. And then it turns around, and she grabs onto its dorsal fin, and it swims her to the surface.
Fantastic.
She punches a shark so hard underwater that it shakes its head and goes, "Okay, you're my boss now," and it swims her to the surface.
That's how fast you tame a shark when you're Lara Croft.
Now, I know it's not technically a monster, but
they're the monsters of the sea.
Yeah, exactly. So
we discussed earlier about, remember I talked about the Vikings, how they bury a shark?
Yeah.
And I think I referred to them as they take a monster from the sea, bury it, then eat it. So it works in our context.
She punches a monster in the schnoz, and then it just willingly swims her to the surface. Like, hey, I don't want no more, and because of that, I respect you.
Yeah. Right. No, I'm down with that.
All right, who's your next one?
My next one is John Nada, played by Roddy Piper in They Live.
Yes. Can I tell you that I also have a pick? Was it Frank from They Live?
Okay, perfect.
So I had Frank on this list. Keith David from They Live.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. What did you add John for?
Well, I just think he's here really to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and he's all out of bubblegum.
And he says that.
So, he says that. And I just think that he is, in his purest form, strictly a fighter. He has no other agenda than to fight what doesn't belong.
Yeah.
And in that movie, it goes from protesters to actual aliens, but he's just, whatever doesn't belong there, he wants to get rid of it so he can just be a man. And I think that at the core of our monster fighting team, we need that kind of, we don't, like, I made an argument today about, like, well, the dragon didn't ask for this. I want Roddy Piper to slap me in the face and be like, stop it. We have to kill the dragon.
Yeah, get over yourself. This is what has to
get
get
over
done.
yourself. We're gonna kill him.
That's glasses on. And what I love about Frank is that once he gets those glasses on, he wasn't in this to begin with, but once he gets in it, he's in it. So this isn't even his battle. Like, this was Nada's battle. But once he gets those glasses on, he's like, I'm with you. And that's why he's perfect for the team, because you just need a guy that's like, I'm with you. I got your back.
100%. 100%.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Roddy Piper's in 100%.
I love that you and I picked either one from the movie. It's brilliant.
Right.
All right.
And so is Hank your next pick then? Is that?
Yeah. He's my next pick. I had him in here. So I guess you're up now. So we have 4 picks.
Okay. Which is kind of neat what was happening right now, because you said that you didn't think, like, a shark isn't technically a real monster. I picked my next pick is Martin Brody from Jaws.
Yes. Because he doesn't kill just one. He kills 2.
He kills 2. And here's why I picked Sheriff Brody. Because at the risk of his own personal reputation, he pursues this monster with fever and passion. Because he cares more about the town of Amity and his family than he does about his own self. And I think that's like the truest form of a hero. And that's the kind of selflessness we need in our team.
Yeah, you're right. He goes out there on a tiny boat.
But his wife tells him he's crazy.
Yeah, and he stays cool, calm, and collected. He nails the shot when you have to. He goes out again and electrocutes a shark. I mean, this guy, he's just a good guy who goes out there. And if you think about it, hunting a gigantic shark on a tiny boat, there's nothing more frightening.
No.
I mean, you can chew bubblegum and shoot aliens. You can, Laura Croft can punch a shark because she's just Laura Shaw, even though she's in the water. But she knew what she was doing. Brody's not Laura Croft. Brody's a man, not a superhero. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Oh man, I love it. Sorry to hijack your Martin Brody. That's just my favorite movie.
No.
So I love that you picked it.
No, it's my favorite movie as well.
All right. So my next one is Captain Stephen Hiller from Independence Day.
Oh, yes.
And the reason I added this is because a gigantic 14-foot alien jumps out of a spaceship. Hiller punches it once in the face and knocks it unconscious.
Right.
With its protective shielding on.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, it has like a bulletproof vest over its face. It has a football helmet times 6 over its body. And Hiller knocks it out with one punch.
Exactly.
How much power is in that punch?
It's got the entire power of the human race in that punch. That's how much power it has.
So yeah, I just thought I added him in here because he goes up in spaceships with Jeff Gold. He doesn't care. Like, he'll go up in a spaceship to blow him up. He's cool, calm, and collected, and he could just knock anything out.
Well, in the entire Air Force, he's the only one that brings an alien down.
Yeah, you're right. And too bad. I always say I'm gonna light the tires and kick the fires, Big Daddy. And then people are like, "What are you talking about?" But if Stephen Hiller hit that shark in Tomb Raider, the shark would have died, and then he would have felt terrible about himself.
Well, he wouldn't have survived because he didn't have the ride that Laura Croft had.
Terrible planning. That's funny.
Oh, that's a good pick.
All right, awesome. What's your next one?
Valentine McKee.
Valentine McKee.
Kevin Bacon from Tremors.
Oh my gosh, what a survivor.
Right? And yeah, go ahead.
Does he get a package deal with Fred Ward?
I think so. I think they're kind of the same. They're very much like Jericho and Hank.
Wait, but they're both unproductive, and one, Jericho's dragging Hank along.
Right.
So I just think, are you saying Fred Ward is Hank?
I would say yes.
Oh, that's
compared to Kevin Bacon,
yeah,
right? Because it's the bacon.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that we need to have Little Bacon in our team, and if anything, just for his experience, because he kind of like figured out this whole Tremors situation pretty quick. Like,
yeah,
they adapted pretty quick to this warfare that had never been seen before, right?
And the explosives, he did a great job knowing what it would speed up when it hurt it, and then jump out the cliff.
Right, and we don't know what kind of, like, if you said, oh, we're going to go fight sharks, we're going to go fight aliens, we're going to fight predators, we're going to fight what, but we don't know what monsters are going to be thrown at our team, and we want someone that can adapt and kind of figure things out on the fly, and I think that Valentine McKee is that guy.
Yeah, he figured that out. He stayed cool, didn't he? He did a good job. I love it.
Yep.
What a great pick, because those are tough Tremors to live. I mean, they're underground attacking them.
Yeah.
I love
100%.
I love KB in that movie. All right, so so I'm looking through our list, right? We have a bunch of. We don't have like Heller's good. We just don't have like a real clear cut leader. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm gonna add Rita Vertasky from Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Because she would be the leader.
Yeah. How good is Edge of Tomorrow? How good is that movie?
Dude, that movie never get. That this is random, and I'm not trying to boast. I know I said earlier, got loads of views, but that's like the first big thing that's ever happened to me. I wrote a review for this movie, and Tom Cruise retweeted it.
Oh wow!
And so, I don't love the movie because of that, but I just love how that came. I love his performance, but I just think Emily Blunt's performance in that just. We talk about people effortlessly being badass. And I think a lot of actors have that problem, and actresses, where they have to play a badass and they act like a badass. Does that make sense?
Right.
But in this one, you watch her and you're like, she's a badass.
Yeah. She's not acting.
Yeah.
Jim Hopper goes home and he's terrified.
Yeah. I'm watching this movie and I'm like, she just nailed it. She just nailed the badass. And I just think she'd be a good leader in this situation. And she was a good mentor to Tom Cruise, again. I think she's the leader you want when you're battling horrible aliens or creatures.
Yeah, no, that was my favorite movie of that year.
Oh, easily. And plus she could teach you yoga.
Yes. And it was with the relentlessness of which she killed Tom Cruise when he would break his leg or something. She's like, okay, and she just shoot him.
Yep.
Knowing that tomorrow, as soon as she does it, it's over, and just like zero empathy because she just needed to get the job done. It was brilliant.
And if you think about Hiller, he's just a pilot, right? And then you have Laura Croft. You could kind of set her off on her own missions.
Right.
Frank and Nada, Brody. They're not like Patton.
Right.
And I'm not saying Vertasky's Patton, but I'm just saying she's the leader, so that's why I added her in there.
100%.
All right, cool.
Okay, so this one, I will take a hit, and if you say it's not fair, it's not fair. I get that. But his job is he's a professional monster hunter, but he's also Hellboy.
Oh.
Right? So I'm saying like he's trying very hard to be as human as he can, but he is a monster hunter.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. That's his stock and trade, my friend.
I watch these movies and I feel so bad for the agents.
Oh, so bad. Especially in part 2 when he's like getting ulcers and he's on talk shows and like it's just like trying to cover up Hellboy and Hellboy just wants to be out there. It's so good.
I feel bad for all those guys, but I really like Delta. I'm looking forward to the new Hellboy.
So I've just seen clips of this. It's a reboot, right? Is Del Toro involved in it, or is it a whole different?
Neil Marshall, who directed The Descent, which I have on this list, directed it.
Okay. Yeah, I just think I loved those first two so much. I don't know if I'm ready for a new Hellboy yet.
I guess just look at it as another variant of the comic book.
Yeah, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna love it, and it's gonna be good. I'm just like. I love those first two movies. They're near perfect.
I have to say though, since we're battling monsters, you kind of need that.
Right? You need your ace up the sleeve.
Right? Like, so we did post-apocalyptic movies. That's fine. You can have humans. But this one, I think you kind of need something like that. All right, so I guess I kind of broke the thing, but I want to do Juno from The Descent.
Okay.
Have you seen The Descent?
I haven't yet. It's on my list of things to watch, but I have not yet seen it.
Oh, so do you know anything about it?
Nothing.
Oh crap! All right, well, man, I don't want to spoil it.
No, it's okay. You can spoil for me.
No, I
It's
don't
all
want.
right.
I don't want to, because it's just so. Do you really like? It'll wreck the surprise. So I don't know if I want to do it.
Okay, well then don't do it.
I don't want to do it.
But
I want you going into this experience as pure as when I saw it. But for people who have watched that movie, Juno, just know that. Oh wait, I just gave it away from you because we're talking about. That's basically a giveaway, right? Because we're doing a monster fighters list.
right.
All right. Well, she just has some very primal fights in this movie, and she
Okay.
just immediately steps up. Like, so what I like about her, as soon as flight or fight can break out, she just fights.
Okay.
Like, there's no
No
flight from her. Nothing. Like, some people just could buckle, their knees start buckling. She just hunkers down and becomes the fight. And I just love how she did that. You know what I mean? Like, you just have that one person in your group who, I'm getting goosebumps because I love that dang movie so much. It's in my top 3 all time. But she just
All right,
like,
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
dude, she just buckles down and like fights. And the direction and everything. If you like it, I'd love to podcast about it in the future. We got a list, but I'd love to talk about it eventually. But so I
All
added
right.
Juno from The Descent. Who's your next one?
Oh, this is just because I like having a little bit of class in everything that I do. I try to get things as classy as I possibly can. And so, Steve McQueen played Steve Andrews in The Blob.
Dude, he's so cool though.
He's the coolest, classiest guy, and he's just a relentless survivor.
Yeah.
And you need that guy who's just always gonna survive.
Oh my god.
And so I just think Steve McQueen brings a legitimacy to our team. It's like he's on the Magnificent Seven. He's just, he's that guy. And, you need the guy who above all other odds just survives.
I love it. I love that you added Steve McQueen. That makes me happy. He's a great actor, man. You found a way to fix him into a Monster Hunter list.
Right.
All right. This one's weird. I just picked him for his hair, but it's Elmont from Jack the Giant Slayer, and I just loved Ewan McGregor's hair in it throughout the whole movie, and I just loved his pompousness.
So I need to say this out loud.
Yeah.
I took my youth group to go see Jack and the Giant Slayer. And the next day I took my family to go see it because I loved it so much. I love that movie.
It's just a good yarn. Like, not a yarn. It's not a yarn. It's a fun adventure movie.
Yeah.
And
that's what Bryan Singer needs to do. Just make more of that.
And he just sold it. Good old Ewan McGregor is like the pompous guy with his hair stays. So I do my random awards, and the whole time we're watching, my wife and I are like, "How's his hair staying so perfect?" Like, he just has great hair.
Yeah.
I just think you need that in your
100%.
group. You need that in your group. It's just great hair.
Yes.
So that's my sixth pick. What's your seventh pick?
Okay, my final, because we did 7, right?
Yeah.
So my final pick was Christopher as Whistler in Blade.
Ooh.
And he is the mastermind behind, like, he's the one who just like equips and gets us there.
We need
doesn't do a whole lot of fighting. He's good in the fight if necessary, but he's the guy who makes sure we're ready to get in the fight.
That's brilliant, because you need a guy like him.
You need a guy like that.
Man, you thought outside the box.
I try. So it's always in these lists. I think about, like, what would be the best people, and then I'm like, and also I don't want to step on Mark's territory.
Dude, that's a legit pick. I love it.
Yeah. And so who's your final pick?
All right, so it came down to 2 for me, and I was thinking maybe Luke Skywalker, because he really handled the Rancor without the Force. But
right.
I love the Rancor, and I love the Rancor trainer, so I kicked him out of that. So I added, this is really, really random, but I added Iko Uwais of the Raid fame, and also my favorite action film of 2018, The Night Comes for Us. It's insane. Iko Uwais in Beyond Skyline, the very random sequel to Skyline, signed Frank Grillo, but the final half of that movie is Iko Uwais and Mad Dog from The Raid and Frank Grillo just fist fighting aliens.
Okay.
And so Frank Grillo's the main character. He randomly comes across Iko, and these aliens attack, and Iko's like, let's do it. And him and Mad Dog, I couldn't add both, but I just wanted to add Iko. Like, they just wipe out these Iko has this fight against this 8-foot alien in close quarters, and Iko just wipes him out. And he's just elbowing, these things are bigger than him, but he beats the living daylights out of many, many aliens without weapons. He doesn't have he has elbows. I guess they are weapons for him, but he's like a fist-fighting maniac. And that's what I loved about him, is that it wasn't his battle. The battle came to him. He had no weapons. And I've added a lot of face punchers in this one. Like, if you think about it, Lara Croft.
Yep.
A lot of face punchers here. That's interesting. And a guy with great hair.
Knocking out aliens with one punch.
Yeah, exactly. So I just have that. So I just wanted a dude that's all elbows and knees wiping out aliens. So
I like that.
All right.
I like that.
All right. I'm going to take out Juno because you haven't seen The Descent. Because you can't make. Okay. I don't want to force that on you. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
We can always change it later on. So I'll take that out. So who do you think? I love your Chris Christopherson from Blade. Your Whistler.
He's my favorite thing I've done on my list.
Okay. So he's a keeper.
Yeah, I think we keep Chris.
Okay.
Keep Whistler.
All right. So since I picked Whistler, who do you think we should keep next?
It's tough. I really think Captain Hiller just brings that toughness, that like American grit, if you will, to our team.
Just the one punch KO. He can fly too.
One punch, and he's got enough humor. He's gonna keep the whole team jovial as this thing's going down.
Yeah, and he's good on his own, but he's also good in a team.
Right.
All right. So, and then I guess let me get rid of that. Let me see. Hiller. Where's he? I wrote these down so I can keep this all organized. That's how serious I take this.
These lists are big deals.
I'm adding Rita from Edge of Tomorrow, just because I think she's a very good leader.
We need that leader.
Yeah.
Her in combination with Whistler is almost a recipe for success. Just the two of them.
Yeah. Just he would hook her up with gear.
Yeah.
And then he's also good with technology and kind of stuff. So.
Yep.
All right.
You got Whistler in your ear. You're ahead of the game.
Love it. Who's next?
I really think Hellboy brings something to the team.
Oh, we need it.
I think he's the secret weapon. Like he's the we have a Hulk moment.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, he is the we have a Hulk.
We have a Hellboy. We have a demon with a handgun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you're fighting monsters, so you can easily add him.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know how you feel about this, but every monster hunting team, they need bankroll, right?
Got to have bankroll.
And Lara Croft is super rich.
Yeah, so I was going to pick Lara Croft as my next pick for a couple of reasons. She brings a youth aspect to the team, right? And we all know as good as Whistler and that kind of but there's something about having fresh ideas, a fresh outlook, and just a different way of thinking about things. So she brings the youth aspect. She brings the bankroll, but not in a Tony Stark, Batman, Bruce Wayne kind of in your face way. She does without. She can afford the best weapons, but she'll also build a tomahawk out of rocks and sticks in the forest and make it work.
Yeah, exactly. She cut herself and punched a shark.
Right.
Oh man. So Lara Croft. So right now we have Whistler, Captain Hiller, Rita Vertasky, Hellboy, Lara Croft, and we're gonna do 7, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. So all right, who you get the next pick?
I'm torn between, and this is gonna find thing to be torn, but I'm torn between Roddy Piper and Steve McQueen. They're ends of the spectrum. They're different. But I don't think with Captain Hiller we need Roddy Piper.
Yeah, and we have Hellboy too.
We have Hellboy. So I think Roddy Piper's off there, but I think McQueen, maybe he's not best with offense, but if things go awry, he will be the guy who can bring it in the end. And he's going to survive. He's not going to be the first guy to tap out. He's going to be the last guy hanging on, and he's going to have that that John Wayne kind of toughness.
If you think about it, Whistler, he can be the comedic relief. Then there's Hiller. Oh no, I'm sorry. Whistler's the old cranky man. Hiller's sort of the comic relief. Rita, Hellboy has jokes, but not like he's not smooth. Laura,
he's the muscle.
Yeah, but McQueen's like the smooth. He's like the Sun Kang of the Furious group. Like Sun Kang was like real chill with Gal Gadot.
Well, he's like the face of our A-team.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. So he's the Bradley Cooper.
I want to see a Bradley Cooper remake of The Blob next summer.
Oh, dude, and I tell you, that tank scene in A-Team is pure gold. I don't know what shells landed where, but that scene is pure gold. All right, so
I don't know.
Oh man,
I don't know how it could happen, but imagine if they said this summer, The Blob, and it's Bradley Cooper, but The Blob is being played by The Rock somehow.
Is bad CGI like the Scorpion King?
Yeah, or just like even like as the Blob moves around, like The Rock is his consciousness, and you can kind of like it's an internal monologue.
Yeah.
So The Rock's not even on screen; it's just like him narrating what the Blob's doing.
The Rock is doing it. Layeth the smack it down.
It'd be amazing.
This one's
right?
Oh, dude, The Rock narrating.
So
the
you
Blob.
get the final pick here.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Elmont needs to go because we already have like the Hiller and we have the face of like McQueen, right?
Right.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't seen Split Second, so I hate to get rid of. I love this idea, but I gotta kind of get rid of that.
No, and I'll say that Rutger Hauer hasn't made the final cut in many of our lists. He's been on my picks, but he hasn't made a lot of the list.
It's like it's like Dolph on mine. I've like left Dolph out a few times as well.
Right.
All right. Brody, I just think he just wouldn't. I don't know how he would stand out in this group.
And again, I don't think we need him.
Yeah.
With the other people we have. We have a Whistler.
All right. So since we have Hiller in there, he can literally knock things out with one punch, right? And then we have Rita Vertasky, who's the leader. Not too humorous, just a badass. We have Hellboy, who can drop some things. He's the muscle, right? So we have the muscle. Then we have Laura Croft, who's, she'll do one-liners and stuff, but she's bankroll. She's more, we have that role. Then we have McQueen, who's super smooth. So we already have the comedy. So, but we already have so it's like, we need to have not the comedy, but we need the human element. In this group. So I think Kevin Bacon from Tremors adds the human element. He's the Roman of the Fast and Furious crew.
Right.
Does that make sense?
And again, he's the guy who is going to be able to think fast on his feet about strategy and understanding the enemy.
And like if you think about it, Roman is always complaining about things, but then he'll come out of nowhere and figure something out.
Right.
Like
right. Roman would rather be at home, but since he's there, he's going to be the guy who figures it out.
Yeah, and he does. Like, he figures out a lot of these things in these movies. As much as I love Eco, I don't think we need a silent, because you already have Rita. She doesn't really talk much. McQueen talks when he has to. Does that make sense?
McQueen talks with his eyes, man. Let's be honest.
So, like, you kind of need, you have Hiller, but I don't look at Hiller as a motor mouth. He's more of like a...
No, sit and wait and let their lines mean something.
And you need, well, you know what though? Hiller needs to have someone to bounce with. And
absolutely. He needs a straight man.
And that would be Bacon. Like, he and Bacon would be the ones bantering back and forth. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. 100%.
I think Laura Croft and McQueen would get along really well. I think Rita and Hellboy.
Beautiful children.
Yeah. Just, oh my gosh. And then Hellboy and Rita, I think, would kind of get along because they're badasses, right? And they kind of get each other. And then Whistler's just cranky. And you need, Whistler to deal with Bacon and Hiller.
100%.
We really thought this out.
This is maybe the greatest monster team ever assembled.
All right, and I'm going to add this onto I'm going to write my own post. I'm going to write a post about it. I don't know when I'll get it out before the end of the year. And then I'll also include our team on. So I got to add a bunch of links here. I got to add the CGI link. I'll add the jump link. So I'll add some links to our article as well to kind of make it, so if you want to hear everything we're talking about, you can just go stop by the MFF page and check this out.
Right.
So we have Whistler, Captain Hiller, Rita, Hellboy, Laura Croft, McQueen, Bacon, and, well, no, wait. Oh, then I put CGI, but that's a note. I think that's a perfect team.
No, it's gold. It should be the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen Part 2, our team of monster hunters.
With these characters.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Just make some copyright calls.
What movie are we doing next?
I think we're going to break from our like set schedule we had. Are we going to do Icebreaker?
Oh, yeah. We're going to do Icebreaker and snowmobile action scenes.
Yeah.
And then we also have
100%.
Faster coming up, right? And we have Goon.
Goon coming up. Yep.
I'll look at the notes that we have. I need to put this in a spreadsheet. So we're going to break from that. We're going to do Icebreaker starring Sean Astin and a bald...
Our Christmas special is Icebreaker.
With snowmobile action scenes, which is amazing. And then...
Filmed minutes from my home.
Oh, that's amazing. And you're a snowmobile... We'll get further in that. We'll save it for the pod on that. But
yes.
This was fun, man. I'm glad we did this. I've been wanting to talk about this movie for a long time. Like, I don't know why.
No, there was a couple of things that came up due to the season that prevented it from happening last week, but this has been good.
Oh no, this is a dude. We're always good, man. This is fun.
No, this is the best.
All right, so this was fun. Well, I'll see you again for our snowmobile thing. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Adam, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We will see you next week.